Boyhood home of Jeffrey Dahmer is giving up its grisly secrets. Authorities descended on that home in Ohio today. There they uncovered what Dahmer says are the bones of his very first victim. Dahmer was just 18 when he allegedly strangled a young hitchhiker.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
For Summit County, Ohio coroner William Cox, today's search of an almost 2-acre property, though gruesome, was at least successful. Some 50 bones and bone fragments were found here, most of them apparently from a human being. And Dr. Cox told reporters assembled in this community just outside Akron that many of the fragments appear to be from a human skull. Jeffrey Dahmer, still apparently cooperating fully with investigators, claims he killed this man, Stephen Mark Hicks, back in 1978. Dahmer reportedly picked up the hitchhiking Hicks and took him to his home, where after drinking beer together, Dahmer says he strangled Hicks with a barbell and began dismembering him. It was here in a crawl space under his parents' home that the cutting up of young Hicks' body may have taken place. That is what Dahmer has told authorities, and as has been the case from the very beginning, what Dahmer has said is verified by what is found. Dahmer says he buried and dug up Hicks' remains several times, finally scraping the flesh off bones, smashing the bones with a hammer, and scattering them in a ravine. This is that now infamous ravine that holds the remains of what appears to be the first of Jeffrey Dahmer's many victims.
They will be appropriately labeled, photographed, diagrammed, placed in an appropriate container, and then at the end of the day, they will be transported back to the coroner's office for definitive analysis.
And now for Ohio authorities, the job made more difficult by the 13-year time span of determining if the bone fragments found today are indeed those of murder victim Stephen Hicks. Authorities there hope to extract genetic material from those fragments and compare that to the makeup of blood from the victim's parents. Hicks's parents also reportedly have a few locks of their late son's hair, which may also be used for genetic identification purposes.
Milwaukee police have positively identified 2 more of Dahmer's alleged victims now, 25-year-old Richard Guerrero and 23-year-old David Thomas, both of Milwaukee. Since this gruesome story broke last week, the city's police department has come under fire for the way it's handling the case. And Kavanaugh reports from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee calls itself a great place on a great lake, the city of festivals. But today, instead of sightseeing at Milwaukee's beer gardens, tourists take pictures of the apartment building where Jeffrey Dahmer did his killing.
Okay.
Gawkers from all over the country are coming to see Dahmer's House of Horrors.
Gives a little bad view. I mean, look at me, I'm out of town. Here I am coming to see a house where a guy killed a bunch of people.
A short distance away from Dahmer's apartment at the Fellowship Baptist Church, people could care less about Milwaukee's image. They're angry over the reality that most of Dahmer's victims were black and that white police officers ignored pleas from black women to arrest Dahmer on May 27th. They say the police department is racist and homophobic and are planning mass demonstrations. The standing room only crowd at tonight's meeting flowed into the parking lot. Tensions between the black community and the police department are nothing new in this city, but the Jeffrey Dahmer case has placed a magnifying glass on the problem.
In Milwaukee, if you're white, you're right. If you're black, stay back. That's the attitude.
McGee and other black leaders are calling on the U.S. Justice Department to investigate. Meanwhile, many in Milwaukee say their city will never be the same as a result of Jeffrey Dahmer's madness.
Milwaukee wasn't that way. It wasn't that way.